Hey YouTube, this is Lithium017 bringing you a review and a suggestion of the game Bit.Trip Runner on the Nintendo Wii. Now this is a downloadable game only, and I believe it's only on the Wii right now, but I think I've been told it's coming to Steam. This game costs 800 Wii points, in North America anyways, which is roughly $8. The game, for the price, is definitely worth it, and that's why I'm suggesting it. I had a friend in university that played this game to death, and I went over to his house and he made me play it, and I really, really liked it. It's made by Gaijin Games, like I said right there. They're the creators of all the Bit.Trip games, and this is the Bit.Trip Runner. In my opinion, the best one I've played of the Bit.Trip games. I've only played 2 or 3 of them, though. But I really enjoy this one. So what it is exactly, it's a retro take on gaming. It's very simple. This is the main menu screen. When the game opens up, you have Zone 1 unlocked, but you can't get to Zone 2 or Zone 3 until you unlock them. And the credits and scores are there as well. So to show you what I mean by how retro it is, it's a side-scroller with only, I think, 5 or 6 actions in the game, and the story is very minimalist. It's not about the story here at all, although there are some really quick cutscenes like this one here in the game that kind of give you a short story, but that's not important. So the gameplay, the character on the screen really isn't moving. It's the world that's moving past the character. So you can jump with the 2 button, you can duck by hitting down, you can kick by hitting 1, you can block by holding forward, and you can also launch off platforms when they come. They're little purple platforms or pink that you launch and you hit up when you hit them. There's gold in every single level. That's a piece of gold right there. On the top right-hand corner of this screen, you can see how many gold there are. In this level, there's only 11. So the goal of the game is to collect all the gold, but ultimately you can still beat the level without getting the gold, and you can continue on to the next level in the next zone. But if you do happen to get all the gold, which I just did there, you will enter a retro stage. So there's different platforms of the game, I guess. The first pillar is just beating the level and moving on. The second pillar is getting perfect gold in that level. And the third pillar is getting perfect in this retro stage. So you can only get to this if you get perfect in the normal stage. What I really like about this is they actually put static in the game on purpose to make it look like, I don't know, an old school Intellivision game or something like that. Usually the retro has a lot more gold. It's much more challenging. This is the first one, so it is a bit easier. There's only 1 piece of gold here that might be challenging, I guess. And that was that one I just got. So if you get perfect on both of those, you'll get exclamation marks. It is possible to get perfect in the worlds by finishing both. However, you have to hit platforms, or you have to hit the launch platforms, or these little trampolines. Every time you hit those, you get points. So it's possible to get all of the gold and not get perfect. So I guess there's 4 pillars. Just beating the level, getting perfect gold in normal, getting perfect gold in retro, and getting perfect score. My name's Dan, if you were unaware of that. So I'll just quickly throw in my name here. So let me just exit the level. And you can see here beside all my scores, beside all the levels, there's exclamation marks. If there's 1 exclamation mark, it means you got all the gold in the level. If there's 2, that means you got all the gold in the level and all the gold in retro. So there's 11 levels in each zone, and they increase in difficulty very, very well. They walk you into the elements. So in the first world, I wasn't using... Really, I didn't have to use duck, and I didn't have to use block, and I didn't have to use kick, but eventually those elements are introduced. And each world of the 3 has 11 levels and then a boss. I don't really want to ruin the bosses for you, so I won't show them, but they're very difficult. You have to memorize them. So I'll show you how difficult the game can get. Maybe I'll just show you one of the last stages. Hopefully this won't spoil it for anyone, but the levels get very difficult. I won't play the whole thing, I'll just show you some of it and how precise usually you have to be, and if you make any mistakes like I just did there, you're back to the beginning. And that platform I hit, this one right here, that's what I was talking about. If you want to get a perfect score, you need to hit those, and you have to duck. So the level does get much more difficult. Right now I'm talking, I'm not really concentrating. I'm going to get a little bit further. I'll get to the first plus sign, maybe a little bit further than that, and then I will stop. That was definitely the hardest part of the game. My friends and I call that the crunch. Very difficult to do. So this is very, very precise gaming. If you make the mistake, though, it is your fault. There's a lot of memorization in this game, because you see how far I've gone in this level, and if I were to die, like I'll die right here, then I go all the way back to the beginning. So there's 36 levels and 3 zones. And the music in this game is definitely what is at best. I have not gotten perfect on all the retro yet. I haven't really tried that hard yet to do it. I've been told that if you beat a boss, you automatically get perfect, but that is incorrect because of all those platforms. So make sure you go back and you check your score. I'll show the first boss a little bit, and I'll show how cheap it gets. Usually you have to get to the boss first. So the music in this game is remarkable. And like I said, the bosses are a little cheap. It's a lot of memorization because he'll drop, this particular boss will drop enemies or things directly in front of your Bit.Trip runner. And they get much closer. Very, very difficult. Very annoying rather than difficult. Because like that, you have to memorize it because he's right in front of you. Jump kick. I'll definitely die because I haven't played this one in a while and I don't remember where it is. Yeah. So I haven't gotten all the retro, I haven't completely beat the game. My friend actually just got everything in the game. And then you can show the credits and stuff. So the music of this game is a plus. Length-wise, because you can replay the levels over and over and over, some levels take you up to 40 times in order to beat. You're just playing them over and over. Some of them are really quick. And the levels do walk you into the difficulty, and it gets much, much more difficult later in the zones. And then when you go to Zone 2, it starts off easier and then gets very, very difficult again. Same with World 3, or Zone 3. So the length of the game, so far I've played this game for at least 10 hours. 10 hours, probably. And I have not gotten everything, so... Issues with it, the bosses are a little bit cheap, and it's a little annoying in some of the levels. I think it's 110 or 111 in particular that have a lot of gold in the 90s, and it takes a very, very long time. And if you're trying to get perfect in retro, sometimes you have to beat those levels that are so long, and you don't even get to retro that often, and you have to practice retro. It's difficult to get all the retro gold. The difficulty of this game, I would give it pretty high. I had a lot of friends over. Mind you, we were having some drinks, and they were trying to play some of the levels that were medium difficulty, and none of them could do it. But if you play this game for maybe 3 or 4 hours, you can pretty much perfect it and get really good at it. Overall review of it, I'd give it, for my fun factor, I'd give it an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10, just because it is so good. And the music, my friends will just be captivated. They'll walk into the room with my roommates, and they've never seen the game before, and they'll just stand there and watch for 10 minutes just because the music's so cool and it is so captivating. I'll give you an idea of one more level as I continue talking. So overall, the worlds are different. This is the only level I'm showing you from World 2. I showed you a World 1 and a World 2 one. So this is picking up a bit. This game is a bit more difficult in this one. There's a launch platform, as I said. And there's gold sometimes that you have to duck and then unduck to get. I had a lot of fun with this game, a lot of my friends do. Black blocks you gotta duck under, red blocks you have to jump over. So eventually you'll come into contact with those through playing this. I recommend this game for all ages, although for little children it could be a little bit difficult, but because you can only use the Wii Remote, there's only so many buttons, so really if you make a mistake it's your own fault. The jumps have to be very precise, and in some cases you'll wonder how you died. And the background images are really good. I really don't have enough to say that's good about this. There's so much to say that's great about this game. Very, very addictive. Like some of the jumping like that one had to be very good, but eventually, and I missed a piece of gold, eventually you'll be getting perfect on a lot of the levels. So that's my review of Bit.Trip Runner and a suggestion. Definitely go out and buy it if you have the Wii, or if you have it on Steam. Talk to you later, gamers. Bye.